good, y'all? Real quick, before we get into the video, I just wanted to explain a few things. You might be wondering why you're seeing this video on a Friday when I normally upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. That is because this weekend, currently, right now when you're seeing this video, I am upstate visiting my brother. So, obviously I'm not going to be able to record while I'm up there. So instead of just missing out on Saturdays completely, I just moved Wednesday's video over a little bit to Friday so it can kind of like bridge the gap just a little bit. But that's not why you guys click on this video. What we are going to be talking about is this whole James Harden situation with the 76ers. I'm sure you guys saw that video, that he was speaking to the crowd in China. And this whole situation is just really insane. So we're just going to break it down, give some opinions, some outlooks. But just in case you guys do not know the full situation of what happened around James Harden, Daryl Morey, and the 76ers, we got to go back all the way to before last season in the free agency period. James Harden was on the last year of his max contract, which ended up being a player option for him. And him and Daryl Morey and the 76ers both got together and said, hey, James, we want to build this roster around. We want to bring in guys like PJ Tucker and Daniel House. We want to bring these guys in to help win a championship. Do you mind just taking a little bit of money off, decline your player option, we'll sign you to a new deal, and then next year, we got you, we'll sign you up. James Harden ended up taking a $14.3 million pay cut, and he did just that. Then we get to the regular season. The 76ers are pretty good, end up with the 3rd seed. Joel Embiid wins MVP while James Harden is playing alongside him. Then they get to the playoffs and things get very shaky right there. James Harden kind of up and down games. Joel Embiid not really performing to his best abilities, and they end up losing in the 2nd round to the Boston Celtics. And with the 76ers being a contending team, not making it past the 2nd round yet again was a big disappointment, which I assume would lead to Daryl Morey not offering that max contract that he promised James Harden in last offseason. Unfortunately for James Harden, though, this season, none of the top-tier contending teams had money in free agency. That's kind of why you saw the rumors of James Harden going to the Houston Rockets. I don't know if he ever really was considering that. I think it was more of just kind of get some leverage over on the 76ers. Like, hey, if you don't offer me the money, I'll just go over here. Obviously, they called his bluff, and that didn't work, which led James Harden to accept his player option and request a trade. Daryl Morey says, okay, James, I'll field some offers. We'll try to make you happy. We'll see what we can do about trading you. And then not too shortly after that, he shuts down trade talks of James Harden and says, you know what, nothing out there really that I like for value of this. We're just going to keep you here, James. I'm sorry. That then led James Harden to do his infamous speech in front of the crowd in China saying, quote, Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he is a part of. Now that we're all caught up, let's talk about the two sides. We got the James Harden side, we got the Daryl Morey side. Which one do you really side on? Honestly, right now, I'm a little bit leaning towards James Harden. Now, I know a lot of people are really pissed off right now and saying James Harden's legacy is in the gutter. He went from being such this great player to now he's requesting trades off every team. Which, I mean, I get it, yeah, it's 3 teams that he requested to trade off of in 3 years, which is insane, really, but I think he has a little bit of ground on this one, at least. The way I look at it, if my boss came up to me and was like, alright, for this next 6 months, we're gonna have to dock your pay just a little bit, but after that, you'll be eligible for a raise, we'll get you way higher than everything before, and everything will be great. If I accepted that, I was like, alright, yeah, we could do that, then went down, I took the pay cut, and then it comes time where I'm supposed to get my raise now, and he's like, actually, I don't know if we can give you the raise. Yeah, I would quit. I would quit on spot. I promise you, I would quit on spot. I'm sure a lot of you guys would quit on spot, and that's kind of what James Harden is doing with this trade request. He's like, you're not respecting me. You promised, it goes further than just basketball and business at that point, in my opinion, to look someone in the eye, say, I promise you I can get you this, and then you just don't do it. That's disrespectful, and I understand why James Harden doesn't want to be a part of the Sixers organization. And I don't know if I'm bugging. In the comments down below, let me know if you remember something like this, but I feel like we have never seen a player publicly, denounce his GM, his team, whatever, this much in front of a crowd of people, on video, him personally. And a lot of people I see are grouping this in with, Damian Lillard's situation and saying, player empowerment is becoming an issue. I mean, with Dame's situation, I guess we can highlight that just a little bit because it's kind of similar-ish. The really only similarity is they both requested a trade. Like I said, I think James Harden has some ground here. I would feel disrespected if I was him. Damian Lillard, of course, he's stuck it out with the Trailblazers. I think he also deserves to request a trade. Where he kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth is him saying, I will only play for the Miami Heat next season. you can't really do that. You have to at least give like 3 teams that you would want to go to. The Trailblazers respect you as a player, I'm sure. So I would assume that they would send you to one of those 3 if you give them at least a little bit of leeway, not just force their hand to accept just one offer from one team. Back to James Harden though, him personally in this situation, I think this is exactly what player empowerment was created for, or not really created, but more, come to the forefront for, is situations like this where the teams are just, they get the excuse of, it's business, man. I don't know what I can tell you. It's business. I gotta make money. I gotta do this. It's business. That excuse doesn't work for every situation to just disrespect players. To be fair though, I do want to look at both sides here, so we are going to look at Daryl Morey's side. As I mentioned before, obviously there was a little bit of disappointment in James Harden's play in the playoffs and the 76ers as a team's play in the playoffs, so I understand Daryl Morey not saying, alright, yeah, let's just run it back and see if we can be better, because obviously that's not working. But at the same time, you kind of back yourself into a corner by promising him last season, hey, James, take this cut right now, I got you next year. You kind of force your hand to get him next year. And then with the trade thing, Daryl Morey has shown in the past that he will not just trade a player because they request a trade. Obviously, Ben Simmons, he sat out for half the season, or not even half. He sat out for an entire season because he wanted to get traded, and Daryl Morey didn't get any offers he liked. And right now, the best trade packages that I've seen for James Harden right now is like the Clippers one. That's very popular right now, and that's like Rocco, Marcus Morris, and like Nick Batum. That's not moving me if I'm the Sixers. Or I've seen one that was CJ McCollum straight up for James Harden. I mean, that's like player for player. CJ McCollum's probably the best player you'll get for James Harden, but like at the same time, that's not really moving me. So I'm really curious to see how Daryl Morey goes on with this situation. But I also am very curious to see on how this affects Joel Embiid. Obviously, he just won MVP. He is at the peak of his powers right now, dead smack in the middle of his prime. And the team has failed over and over and over again to surround him with competent players and competent pieces to win a championship. And I'm not saying Joel Embiid has never been surrounded with good teammates. The team that comes to mind immediately is that 2019 team that lost to the Kawhi, 4-time bounce around the rim. Crazy shot. They were on the bad end of that. I think if that shot misses, they probably go on to at least compete with the Warriors. I don't know if the injuries happen the same way. We're going down a rabbit hole right now. They have had decent teams, but at the same time, you let Jimmy Butler walk for basically nothing. You got Josh Richardson back. You let Ben Simmons, you trade him for James Harden, that's cool, but now you're looking like you're going to have to trade James Harden for almost nothing. When does the team really succeed and really boost up to that next level? But Joel Embiid might see this disrespect that James Harden is getting and be like, I don't know if I want to work for Daryl Morey. Maybe I want to leave. I'm sure the 76ers will do everything that they need and that they can do to keep Joel Embiid happy and on the roster, but at the end of the day, if he requests that trade, there's nothing they can do. They might trade James Harden. He might see what comes back and be like, well, I'm not winning with this roster. Trade me. And if that's the case, pull up to my Knicks, Joel. Pull up. Nah, but in all seriousness, though, I am really interested to see how the situation goes. Obviously, James Harden is still one of the best players in the NBA right now, one of the best point guards in the league, one of the best playmakers in the league. He can impact the team a lot and really change the landscape, change the power rankings. So I wonder where he's going to go. I wonder what the return back for Philly is going to be, because then that could trickle down, and then now they have to trade Joel Embiid, and then you're trading the reigning MVP. Like, that is a huge trickle-down effect. My point is, this situation can affect a whole lot coming into next NBA season, and it's just adding another piece of controversy, another piece to the puzzle here into this next coming season. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave it a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the description, there's links to all my social medias, so make sure you follow me on all those to keep up to date with me. Catch ya.